Los Angeles Metro declares a safety emergency. Check it out.
Officials at LA Metro have declared an emergency over the safety of the city's public transit system. A hearing was held today to address the rise in violence. On Monday, a passenger was stabbed to death on a train in Universal City, and yesterday there was another stabbing on the Blue Line at Washington Boulevard and Central Avenue. Earlier this month, a bus driver was stabbed by a passenger in Willowbrook. Today, LA Metro officials authorized emergency approval to retrofit its 2,000 buses with shatterproof glass barriers around transit drivers.
I will not ride our transit system by myself. I am afraid. And
Wait. Catherine, voice is a little deep. Shout out to Slant Sells Cars and everybody that's contributed into the platform. Ben Flacco, I appreciate you. Also, Jay Johnson, I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. That voice was a little deep. Is it Catherine or is it Cat Williams? You know what I'm saying? Listen, in LA, you can never be too sure. In California, you can never be too sure. Let me just play that over because I try to pride myself in the idea that I'm able to identify what I'm looking at when I'm looking at it. But sometimes even I get fooled. Let me see something.
I will not ride our transit system by myself. I am afraid, and I sit on Metro, but I will not ride it.
We're going to give it the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying?
Despite the recent crime wave, ridership is up and some crime statistics are actually down. But observers say perception is everything, and rail line expansion does no good if riders don't feel safe.
Hey, I didn't even think that Los Angeles really had a robust public transportation system anyways. You know what I'm saying? So I know that it's always going to be buses everywhere and stuff like that, but it's very, very rare that you hear anybody talking about how awesome LA's metro transportation system is. But they trying to outfit all of the buses with bulletproof glass. Man, what is LA and what is California becoming? Man, listen, I know that Gavin Newsom at some point is going to try to run for president of the United States of America. However, if y'all ever vote this guy back, well, y'all already didn't vote him in. Y'all already didn't vote him in as governor of California. So who knows what can happen in this great state and this great city of California and Los Angeles. In addition to that, ladies and gentlemen, a woman was fired by the University of Minnesota. Now, they're going to say U of M, but I want y'all to realize it's not U of M, University of Michigan. It's the University of Minnesota. A woman was fired by the University of Minnesota by an Instagram post. Y'all sent this to me. I want to check this out.
A former U of M employee is suing the university for firing her over a social media post criticizing Israel's war against Hamas. The U defends its actions, but the woman and her lawyers say her termination violates her civil rights. John Croman has more.
And I'm really, really scared.
Mashal Shahzad fought back tears as she described being fired by the U of M from her job as Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Manager at the School of Public Health.
What happened?
Her job is the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Manager. Okay, first of all, I knew it wasn't going to take long before I started to tear this whole review video down. It's been 29 seconds, ain't even been a full 30 seconds. And we already going into this talking about she's a Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Manager. Obviously, them lips got a whole lot of injections inside of them. And she looked like she for the streets. They need to just get rid of the whole division in the first place. What is a diverse... Man, hold on, look. What is a Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Manager? And why do every time a woman get fired and she comes up and she's trying to get her job back, she throws a whole bunch of hissy fits and fake tears? I ain't seen a tear come out of her face yet. Not one tear. She got them thick eyebrows, though. And y'all got to stop getting these injections. Good God. Y'all got to stop getting these injections. I don't know what y'all doing to y'all face, y'all lips. It's crazy. We ain't even got to why she got fired yet.
What to me was wrong. Legally, factually, emotionally.
Shahzad, a Muslim woman from an Afghani immigrant family, has been vocal about her criticism of Israel's military campaign in Gaza. At a protest in Barcelona, Spain in December, she posted several photos to her private Instagram account accusing Israel of genocide.
Not private.
The caption on said post was, "This is not a conflict. This is not a war. This is genocide."
It was automatically reposted to Facebook, and someone complained to the U of M that another protester in the background held an Israeli flag with swastikas painted on it.
Good.
2 days
Reporter.
later, Shahzad's managers cited that post and placed her on paid leave, and on January 12th informed her she'd been fired.
It was purposefully and intentionally framed as anti-Semitism, which is not at all something that I support.
The university tells us because this matter is under litigation, there's a limit to how much they can say about it, but they did share with us the termination letter. Public Health School Dean Melinda Pettigrew wrote, "I find that continuing your employment would create a real risk of significant disruption to school and university activities. This
Let me back that up.
Public Health School Dean Melinda Pettigrew
All right, it says, I have reviewed the Human Resources Investigation report regarding the concerns raised about your recent conduct. I have also reviewed the underlying materials regarding the matter, including the character references submitted on your behalf. The material facts, as confirmed through the investigation, are as follows. On December 11, 2023, the university received a report from an outside party expressing concerns about materials allegedly posted by you on social media. The materials included an image of you standing in front of an Israeli flag and red swastikas painted on it. When interviewed, you confirmed that you posted the materials. You explained that the flag image was captured at a protest you attended in Barcelona, Spain on December 9, 2023. You said you thought you only had posted it on private social media page, but despite this, the content was openly accessible to others. You said you understood the insensitivity of posting the image. You expressed regret, recognizing the post's potential harm. You also said you had taken the image down. I recognize and respect the rights of the university employees to comment on matters of public concern. However, I must balance those interests against the school's need to conduct its business effectively without disruption, meaning you are a representation, and what you do publicly affects them privately. Let's continue. Activities. This is particularly true given the current climate around the Israeli-Palestinian conflict within the university community and around the globe, and the highly inflammatory nature of the image you posted as program manager for diversity, equity, and inclusion at the school. Your conduct directly undermines your credibility in this role. Well spoken. As a result, I find that continuing your employment would disrupt the school's ability to operate credibly in the DEI arena and effectively supporting all members of the school's community. In light of these conclusions, please be advised, you will fail probation. Your last day work is today, June 10th. You will be placed on an unpaid leave of absence until the close of the business on January 24th. Wow, they gave her a whole year. She should have been looking for a whole nother job after a year, at which time your employment will be terminated. Signed, Dean Melinda Pettigrew. Shout out to Melinda. You gonna learn today. See, a lot of y'all keep putting y'all jobs at risk by being out here in these streets. I keep trying to tell you, what you post on social media is full game, and you did not think that it was private. You knew it was public. You was looking for likes. You was looking for support. You got your makeup done. You got your filters off, and now you wanted to jump out here in these streets, man, and they let you know the streets don't love you.
Wrote, I find that continuing your employment would create a real risk of significant disruption to school and university activities. This is particularly true given the current climate around the Israeli-Palestinian conflict with the university community and around the globe and the highly inflammatory nature of the image you posted.
Shock your conscience that you can get fired for a picture you took.
Shahzad's seeking.
It's always somebody that ain't even. Listen. Umar Johnson, come get your people that's a part of the community.
Her old job back plus monetary
Oh,
damages.
she for the
In
streets.
Minneapolis, John Croman, KARE 11.
She for the streets. So she look like she can go over to Dubai though.
Her old job back plus monetary damages.
Yeah.
In Minneapolis, John Croman, KARE 11 News.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're going to get you some butt injections. We're going to get you a BBL down there in the Dominican Republic or Miami. Going to fly you out to Dubai on a private flight. Listen, I would love to interview her on a live stream. Listen, you can't come sit on the couch. My black couch is special. You got to be of a certain ilk to end up on the black couch. But we love to get her on the platform. We're going to reach out to her and see if we can get her and her diversity, equity, and inclusion and have a conversation with her to better understand why it is that she got fired. But anyways, in addition to that, last but not least, on Quick Hits, Chicago, Governor J.B. Pritzker. Now, y'all know that Chicago recently unveiled this whole thing where they trying to build this stadium and it's going to cost all of these billions of dollars. But guess what? Representative over in Governor Pritzker's office said this ain't even a non-starter. We not even going to entertain this foolishness. Chicago, y'all just can't get it together, can y'all?
Just a week after the Bears released plans for a new stadium, they meet in a closed-door meeting with Governor Pritzker's staff in hopes of winning key support.
CBS 2's Sabrina Franza is live in the newsroom with a look at what's happening behind the scenes. Sabrina.
Joe, Erica, the meeting itself was not in person. It was actually on WebEx. The governor's chief of staff and deputy governor were there, but not the governor himself, who has been very vocal about his skepticism for the billions-dollar project that would take years to build, and experts say decades to pay for. Lots of excitement at last week's public announcement from Bears President Kevin Warren and Mayor Brandon Johnson.
And no new taxes on the residents of Chicago.
Now, after some of Governor J.B. Pritzker's aides met with Bears executives, the governor's team calls it a non-starter a few days ago.
I remain skeptical.
The new stadium is projected to cost $3.2 billion. Over $2 billion of that is coming from the Bears, the other millions from an NFL loan request and from state bonds. The surrounding infrastructure is expected to cost $1.5 billion for a grand total of $4.7 billion. Originally, the Bears planned to ask the state for $900 million in ISFA bonds, bond proceeds from the state meant to help pay for the project, which should eventually be paid off in part by the state's 2% hotel tax on gross hotel receipts.
Higher
in
taxes.
a statement, the governor's press secretary told us in part, quote, "The current proposal is a non-starter for the state. In order to subsidize a brand new stadium for a privately owned sports team, the governor would need to see a demonstrable and tangible benefit to the taxpayers of Illinois."
Is this, in general, a good investment of public resources?
We asked Dr. Justin Marlowe, the director of the Center of Municipal Finance at the University of Chicago, about that 2% hotel tax.
The financing up front is very valuable to the team because it's going to be difficult to come up with $900 million on their own. And then the public contribution is sort of spaced out over time.
The payback, he says, could take decades.
To borrow that much money, given the revenues that they know they can collect from the hotel tax, you have to really stretch that borrowing out for about 40 years.
The governor's office also told us that they appreciate the opportunity to talk the plan over with the Bears, adding that they'd be open to meeting with them again, but still lots of questions on how the Bears plan to pay for all of this.
Well, we thought that the Bears was going to have a new stadium. Obviously, that may not necessarily be true because Governor Pritzker said, listen, this is a non-starter. Now I can understand it from both perspectives. Because on one end, they saying it's a lot of people that are saying, well, we don't want any new taxes and we shouldn't be using taxpayer money in order to fund a privately owned team, right? But then on the flip side, you're talking about economic impact and what would that mean for the city and all of this stuff. So it looks like they made an announcement a little too early because I'm not sure that Governor Pritzker or the legislative branches over in Chicago and Illinois is actually going to go for this. But I'll keep an eye on it. I'll make sure that I keep you guys up to date on what's going on.